Thank you, Samson.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so for me, I think you know my.
Please, can we keep the footage rolling? They should continue to see it as often as they will see what they were doing in that house.
You know my position.
But I have said
last
week that I was completely surprised because the people involved, a good number of them, my mates, from school, and I don't know them to conduct themselves that way. Some my juniors, you know, I don't know them to conduct themselves that way. So I was surprised that they would think that holding table, pushing it here and there,
breaking microphones.
That was Vera. Yes, Vera.
So for me, how did we get here, Samson?
Right.
And I still stand by the point that the structure of the appointment committee is just not helping us. It's not efficient. If you have 15 people vetting all the nominees, including regional ministers, it's not efficient. They were tired. They said they were tired. And it's understandable when members have sat for that.
You should have multiple committees?
Para vetting. That is what I think we should do this. We should have para vetting, the sector by sectorial vetting. We are using the American system. The UK doesn't even go through this vet. When you get your letter, the next day you start work. But we have adopted an approach. Let's go through vetting, which is very good for social accountability. We get to hear from our ministers. People are going to be leading us in different sectors. But we should make this process more efficient. We have done this for years. And listening to the Honorable Bedres Committee, you realize that there are some fundamental issues with the structure, communication, logistics. And Honorable Kabil mentioned the smuggling issue. From the vetting, Honorable Ablakwa brought a letter and also indicating his invitation that he was scheduled for that day. And Parliament, this non-Parliament is really suffering from communication issue, misinformation, disinformation everywhere. Even when we see it happen, we hear different communication. And so I think there's really a fundamental issue with this 9th Parliament. And immediately leadership need to have a look at it. We can't go with the same approach. Yes. I think we need to have a second look at the structure.
Can we also admit it that the minority, whilst they were the ones who actually did the vetting properly, so-called, because the majority were just saying, congratulations and you will do well. Except in one occasion, you saw when the minority left, then Mahama Yaga decided to take time to do a thorough job with Felix Ofosu Kwachi Ofosu, for example. First, can't we admit the minority appears to just want to filibust sometimes? So they are vetting some judge. He says one or two things about land grab, gold pallets that have been, seized and so on. And the minority leader says, okay, so let's suspend the process. Okujeto comes and you see clear attempts to want to stop it, truncate the process, so that you can go to the next day and prolong it. Are they also being fair?
It still boils down to structure, Samson. I think that minority in this committee, they have to play the role. We've seen what I do not have any questions. I know you can do the job, you move on. And then the minority has been doing. And it's been happening throughout. And I think for even not just this parliament, that is how we see it. Yeah. And it is not fair, really, not fair to us as Ghanaians. Increasingly, we really are demanding, we have a lot of questions and we have parliamentarians there representing us and we expect them to do the questioning for us. And so I think Parliament can really do well with this. But if you still have the same people 15 people sitting down for hours, and if you look at their own schedule of activities, it is not realistic. 30 minutes break for lunch, how do you do that? If you're a project, I do a lot of project management, you realize that you can't, it's just not possible, even for breaking, for people to pack their bags and walk out. That alone, and exchanging pleasant. So you modify as you go along and realize that 1 hour is just not enough. 2 hours is not enough. Let's give ourselves some time if we really want to go by this, even if we are going by this very approach that we are doing. So I think Parliament needs to reconsider how this vetting is done. They have really competent people in different, committees have not been formed yet, but we know their background. We know even from the committee, the very appointment committee, regional ministers, 16 regional ministers were waiting for it. And you saw what happened. After that, they just said, okay, then they started asking, we are all interested in what regional ministers are doing in other areas because we want.
So your solution now in the long term is that we should adopt the American system. The sector committees should just vet those.
Yes.
I also
so that one day you could have as many as 10, 20 being vetted.
Could be pre-recorded. We could go watch it later. Different platforms could.
Do you agree this works?
The president is moving towards that.
Could.
In the last parliament, under the old standing orders, you had an appointment committee, and so only the appointment committee, and they were jack of all trades. So when you look at this draft, it was in 2020. So when we were drafting this thing, we said, no, this is not right. You can't assume that only appointments committee members have the understanding of all the sectors of the economy.
And they don't.
They don't.
So why did they
what do you do? No, so we said, so they did call the majority, the leadership, and some few members, and then said, if you are vetting a minister of a sector, the sector committee, the leadership of the sector committee must be part of the vetting. So we are gradually moving.
But we are saying
no. So
let the parliamentary subcommittee vet so that we can have 4 vettings. Let's do that.
That would be a radical innovation.
It is not radical.
It's not radical. It's not radical.
What we are saying
It's not radical.
It is not
the
radical.
operations of committee
really
provides that
right way.
you can actually subdivide into subcommittees.
You should.
So one
So what I'm saying is that
appointment committee, you can subdivide. These people should be responsible for Minister for Finance. These people should be responsible. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel. It's just a matter of operation. I don't agree that we have to change the standing order because
no, I'm not saying that should change. I'm just saying that we are moving gradually.
The parliamentary subcommittee.
So I'm just saying that we are moving gradually. It was not slow before.
It's slow.
Okay, but now it's slow.
Yeah.
So probably we must move a step ahead.
How quick should we do this?
But let me come back. Let me come back to what she said.
How quick should we do this?
If
there is no impediment, we should, by the next vetting, change to this method.
That's the Deputy Ministerial Committee members.
Yes,
okay.
Why not? Because they, for the whole 4 years, they have vested, they discuss the issues in that sector. So let that subcommittee vet that person.
Right.
If there is no impediment.
Which means all the deputy nominees
should go into the subcommittee.
Could be vetted the same day, around the same hour, and they will all be done.
Record it, put it on public TV.
But will
the majority leader be happy about you taking away his opportunity to do the grilling that he's doing?
They are ranking members, and the ranking members on a particular sector will be more versed in that area than the majority leader.
Okay. And even the chairman adopter will call the available ranking. Afenyo Maki may not be there, but they will make
the ranking member
sit down. Even though per the constitution 217, he's not the ranking, but he's available ranking.
Okay.
They will allow him ask the question.
That's a better system.
All right. The speaker actually called them to come back to change the rules for the next phase of the vetting.
Yes.
And I think one of the issues they were concerned about was the unlimited time given to the ranking.
So you see, when the thing happened, what came out clearly was the regulations. With what regulations were they working? The vetting committee. It appears that their regulations were at large. And so what were they looking for? What was the vetting trying to establish? It's only when you come out with guidelines, with regulations on what you are seeking to establish that you can carry the people along.
Some of these committees are headed by the opposition, so there will be the fear that they may not approve somebody.
It will still come back to plenary for.
No, so if they don't approve,
voted.
It will be voted upon.
Yes.
Okay, let me share a couple of messages with you. We take a break and we come back.